We're back with another video, just another every other day, sometimes daily, sometimes every other day live stream. Just wanted to talk to y'all for a little bit. A lot of crazy stuff going on this week. It's only Wednesday. Make sure y'all check in with a like. All right. So, a couple of topics I want to talk about real quick. And it is real. Hopefully, it is real quick. I'm not trying to turn this into no hour or no 2 hour shit. Hopefully, we do this for 45 minutes. I always say that. It never happens. I get that. Whatever. I'll hold that L. But let's see if it happens today. So first things first. One dude I want to shout out, and you will see me promoting him a lot going forward, is going to be a guy by the name of Myron Golden. I'm I'm a I'm not trying to fanboy over nobody, but I got to tell you, this dude is probably one of the smartest men alive. Like straight like that. This is a black dude. He's a dude that's kind of comes from the church, but this is like one of the smartest dudes out there. Like if you're somebody and yeah, like straight up. And he talks about wealth, prosperity, money. Dude makes a lot of money. Um and yeah, I've I just gotta and I'm gonna be promoting him, I'm gonna be promoting some of his videos. So be paying attention to that. There's a reason I'm doing that. Um so yeah. So there's that. I know Don Calypso talk about the back signal. Yeah. I'm inspired. So when I get inspired, I just do. You know. So you just gonna have to deal with that. But anyway, let's jump into it. So that's one thing I wanted to intro into it, but that's actually not gonna be what I'm gonna talk about today. What I'm gonna talk about today is no, it ain't got nothing to do with MOT and BGS, so don't even ask. I'm not doing that. But I do want to talk about a video O'Shea did today, a few hours ago, as to why black women are mad at Kevin Samuels. And I also want to talk about Gabe A. Shout out to Gabe A. We agree on most, but there's some things we're gonna agree to disagree on. And this is kind of the thing. It seems like art is like where I'm going to put out my thoughts on disagreeing. But this has to do with what my central shit is, which is obviously the gynocracy. And I just want to make this clear. So let's start off because this has to do with kind of the Mike V thing where like what happened. Nothing happened, but like the disagreement me and him had on art when it comes to politics, the gone. So I'm just about to go ahead and reiterate a lot of stuff. I want to start here because I want to be focused. I'm gonna definitely make sure I start communicating a lot more in a focused way. Number one, there is no organization without a social contract. All that is basically black men bending the knee and black men basically doing what black women say. And black women are only doing what they're allowed to do by the dominant society. So the way I see it is the same folks that talk about competing with men, you can't compete with men if your women are above you. So any social contract that is for the betterment of black people at the expense of black men, that is a con because there is no bettering black people without bettering black men. You are not, you see this with the women today. The women are in a much horrible state and it is getting worse. It is not going up, it is going down. It does not matter how much money you give them. But remember, black women are 6% of the population. So giving them $1 billion, and look, this is Goldman Sachs. Let them do it. The dude that owns Shea Moisture, pledged in 2018 $100 million. It doesn't matter how much money you give them. The government has been subsidizing black women for years, for decades now, like three or four. It doesn't matter. The Modern Hair report showed that when you actually raise up black women, all they actually run away from their men. They run away from their families. So Goldman Sachs isn't gonna give more money out. I mean, why do you think black women are in college? It was because the government incentivized that as welfare reform. But what nobody really talks about is look at the crushing debt black women are in. I cite to you, even though he gets on my fucking nerves, that video Jason Black did with talking about debt and women. That's money that's been allocated. When you actually look at the money, my mom called, she was excited. My mom takes care of my aunt, her older sister, because she has dementia. She got the stimulus because she was basically getting mad, low key. You know how women walk around with it's like gasoline everywhere, and it's just looking for a spark to just light everything up. That's basically the mode she was at because everybody got it that she knows of, but her. But luckily, because technically my aunt is a dependent of hers, she got it as a dependent. So she got 2,800. So she's happy, and that's good. Good position to do a couple of little things. So it's like everybody in the family is like good. My brother, was out of a car, got the car he wanted at a good deal. Very extroverted. So him being in the house hurts him a lot more. I'm actually the only introverted one in my immediate family. Like real talk. Everybody else is extroverted, but whatever, whatever. The point is, um, black women been getting subsidized. They've been getting subsidized for what they do. Like, think about it. I ask you all this. How many black women do you all see home? When's the last time you saw a black woman that's homeless? I see white women. I see white men homeless. All black men, obviously, but I see white. Actually, I see probably white men, at least where I'm at, more homeless than black men. Where I'm at, I know what it is nationally, and I see white women. I never see a black. Like maybe the last 3 months, I may have seen one, and that's like the first time in maybe like a 12 months. I never see black women homeless. Ever, ever, ever. I see white women probably like 5 times more home, like 6 times. For every like 8 white women I see homeless, I may see one black woman maybe. So the point is, government's been subsidizing them. So Goldman Sachs throwing in 100, and keep in mind, $100 billion is really a bill. It's really 10 billion over the course of 10 years. So keep that in mind. But they spent. Think about it. They spent $246 billion to issue 80 million 90 million checks. That's what they said. 90 million checks since they signed that bill as of Friday. And that put what, $1,400, $2,500 in people's pockets? If that's not going to be put into an institution that creates a compound effect, that's not really going to do anything. So a lot of dudes are getting butthurt by that. There's nothing to get butthurt for. All this show, the way I look at it is this stuff shows why are black men out here going out of their way to fund black women at the expense of black men. Now, I know why they do it. They do it because that's all they know. And they've never been challenged on anything else, which is going to go on the video O'Shea did, which talks about Obsidian and a couple of other things. It was a great video. Really, really great video because what it did was it took a lot of the stuff that I could be long-winded about. And O'Shea didn't do it. He played a clip that somebody said, and the video articulates basically I could take his video and make it the trailer, make it a 10-minute video that articulates what my channel is about, at least what it's been about. So anyway, so the long story short, going back to the social contract, is there, if we're not talking about a social contract and we're not debating on what that is, we're not doing anything. Well, people can talk about your organizing. Okay, make no mistake, I'm gonna say it in a way that black people in the manosphere could understand. What's the point of having a black manosphere then? We might as well just go into the white manosphere. I mean, technically, some people would actually benefit from that as far as the bigger content creators. Why was the black manosphere created? Why not be just in the regular white manosphere? We all know why the black manosphere is created, or at least any of us has been around for a minute. We know it was created because there's certain concern, even though a lot of the stuff that we deal with cross with, there's American stuff, but we're dealing with something different. And it's not just racism. Like that's what the white boys like to think. Some of the white boys starting to realize that the shit we deal with is a lot more deeper, which is usually why we can speak on this stuff on like pound for pound. We can speak for this stuff a hell of a lot better than they can, because they still don't really grasp what we deal with. They're looking at it from a part more of a situation of them. They're like McDonald's losing market share to like Five Guys and fucking Whataburger and all these like premium food places, and they're trying to be like, okay, what do we do? Do we focus more on overseas markets because that's where the growth is? Do we understand that people are just gonna get tired of our shit unless we do something different? Do we just keep doing the same thing and just deal with what works and just accept that the market share is gonna be? It's not so much we're losing it, but it's restabilizing into the new environment. But they still have the vast majority of what the market share is. It's like, Facebook looking at TikTok. I mean, Facebook's still Facebook. They still have the portfolio stuff that they have. They still have Instagram. They still have WhatsApp. You appreciate the super chat, Gary, Deemer. Appreciate that. They're looking at it from them losing something. Black men are coming at it's not even an awakening, but it's just a realization, acceptance of something you never had. This is why non-ADOS black men, they can try to play in our world, but they are not of our world. They just aren't. And it's not about being mean or being bad. It's just you are not this. Just like how if I go to Africa, at the end of the day, I'll give you an example. This is gonna sound lame. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I play Mortal Kombat. I like Mortal Kombat. I'm pretty good at it. I wouldn't say I could be a lot better, but I play it. And one of the stories in the stories was like the ending. If you beat like whatever the game, and one of the ending character endings was Katana. And Katana is this person where she really was of Outworld. 10,000 years old, blah, 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 blah. Left Adenia when she was very, very young, but she was culturated in Outworld. And so basically, long story short, they was able to um, rip Outworld, rip Adenia, which is her realm from Outworld. Let's just call it her world from Outworld because it merged it. And basically, she was able, because she got all the powers at the time, but bullshit. Basically, she became a god, so she was able to just rewrite shit as she wanted, kind of like some WandaVision shit. So she was able to put the Adenians back. She was able to restore it. But the thing is, as she walked among them, she realized I'm not them. Like everything about her has nothing to do with what they're about, because that's not the environment she was forged in. Even though by blood and by everything else she is of them, she's a different person. She's not them. She's just not. It's like, okay, if you were born, let's say it's like being born in the military, I guess. You were forged in an environment that's not really the same environment as like maybe an environment, somebody in an urban environment or even a suburban environment where it has proximity to the urban environment. You're not in that same bubble. America has a unique bubble. And if you're not in that bubble, and when I say bubble, I mean media, I mean areas of activity, I mean just a lot of stuff. You're not forged there, and it is what it is. That's why a white dude that can be born or raised around, like you can have some white dudes that are raised around black white women, like they're cultured a different way. That doesn't mean that at the end of the day they're still not white, and they can't pull from that energy of them being white as far as the society gives to them, but it's still they're not the exact same. Donovan Sharp has talked about this. Um, so it's not the same, and it's hard to and see people. It's not about you need to go overseas to understand that. You understand that somebody in New York is not the same as somebody in LA. So we understand this without leaving. We understand this. A dude that was raised in South Carolina is not going to be the same as a dude that was raised in New York. It's just not. Even if they were raised in the city, it's just not. Even if you were raised in New York, but the rural areas of New York, like New York State, versus being raised in, like, let's say Columbia, South Carolina, it's not the same. Yeah, but well, Mortal Kombat's got quite a few black characters. Ironically, the best character, probably the easiest character to pick up and really go with is probably the black Jax's daughter, which is funny. But anyway, my point is you get the like the metaphor. My point is they can't understand what our situation is because that's they're not in a gynocracy. They're not. And see, the thing that was great about the video, the context of the video O'Shea was talking about, it was referencing a clip Obsidian had. So check out Obsidian's channel for it. And his Patreon, if it's on Patreon. It was a Puerto Rican woman that she was trying to take the Hispanic, like the Afro Hispanic or the Hispanic culture, well, really Hispanic culture of Puerto Ricans, and apply that to Ado's blacks. Autumn, and see, here's the difference between me and a lot of people. I talk a lot, yes, but I don't speak on shit I don't know. I don't wing it. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. If we're having this thing where I want to ask questions and I want to kind of go back and forth with ideas, that's not the same as me actually saying this is what it is based on what I see. Okay, you show me where I'm wrong. Can you? And it's not me saying because I know everything. It's me saying where are the holes? Plug them up. Cause I'm interested in having my stuff be on point. People can't do that. So what they start doing, they start kind of agreeing, but they feel a certain type of way. But when you feel a certain type of way, but you don't have really the information behind it, you can't, unless you're an effective communicator, you can't really articulate it. I'm not the most effective communicator. Let's be clear about that. I'm not gonna act like I'm like a super communicator. Everybody's below me. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, it's like people can't. They really can't shoot down what I'm saying, and then they get mad because they say it's the same thing with Kevin. They get mad. Oh, you think you always right? No, it's not. It's the yo shit. Go do your fucking homework and come at me when you're ready to deal with my shit. With what I'm talking about, because I don't believe in like feeling my way around shit, and then we're just gonna come to an agreement just to come to an agreement. I just don't. Because you're not a drug. Because what you're asking me to do is to submit to what some shit you talking about that you're not even 100% sure about. So this comes back to like when people talk about organizing, but it's like, okay, so what are we organizing for? Well, you don't know enough. Okay, I know enough to know you don't have an answer to my basic question, which is basic. Which when I asked BGS, he had a fucking answer. I know enough to know that. I'm not one of these endless question motherfuckers when I'm just looking for shit to just say no. When I have a question, there's a reason. It's an opportunity. It's the objections I give are legit. Or going back to Gabe, Gabe was like, Gabe went the other tactic that people keep going. It's like people are like recycling shit that happened earlier on. Like we're 10 years into this shit and we're still saying the same shit. Like, oh, well, it didn't happen. Like the majority of the black community is really not what we say it is. That's some YouTube shit. And that's a big reason as to why we are where we are. Because again, when you look at a map, what is the first place you look for in any map? You look for where you are. And if you don't know where you are, or you don't have a reality about, you don't really want to accept where you are, then you don't want to accept where you want to go. That's not saying that we only have to be stuck on where we are. But see, the reason why this shit has to be said over and over and over again, because you always have a continuous stream of people, whether they're new or whether they've been here, that will always fucking try to challenge shit, even though they know they can't. So, like, for example, shout out to Gabe, though, but I'm going to say this. Gabe pointed out that, oh, well, Detroit's a piece of shit. Detroit is literally one of the prime example of what not to do. Detroit, LA, they're one of the prime examples of what happens when black people get apathetic. Now, all of that ain't black people's fault, but god damn it, you not blaming all that on white folks. There was a lot of errors that black people did that fucked Detroit. A lot of decisions that black people made, and black people had a lot of control over their own destiny. When them white folks left and they said fuck it and they went to the ring of counties surrounding Detroit, they took their money, but they ceded the infrastructure to black people. And a lot of the niggotry, by the way, the very niggotry that we like to jump on the Africans about as to why they can't develop their countries on their own like they should, that we throw at them when they piss us off, is the very niggotry Detroit is a textbook example that it was engaged in. We are accountable. The citizens of Detroit are accountable to the leaders they put up. If they are corrupt, that is your fucking fault. You should have got them out of there. Well, we didn't have enough money. You had some. Because just because they pulled all the money out, it was money there. It was some, and you had an infrastructure, but we didn't have the imagination. Because they showed that without them, we can't really build shit on our own. because that's pretty much what that was about. Now they're swooping back in and black people are being moved out. Now it's just so many black people there that it's not everybody's gone. But if you look at where Detroit was and where it is, it's a complete twist. Same thing with LA. Complete change. But what people will sit there and tell you is they'll say because there's some black people there, it's like you got to have a 100% kill rate in order for you to actually say, well, damn, it's fucked up. Well, it's too late then. And this goes back to some of the things BGS has said. BGS is some of the things that he said. He told like let's not bring BGS into this. Let's talk about something that's controversial. Bitcoin. Myron Gold. There was a video because I was looking up some of this stuff because this stuff ain't on YouTube. He's more on Facebook, but he has a YouTube presence a little bit. But you got to find it. And it was him talking about Bitcoin and oh man, fucking Mail Enlightenment or Crypto Gang. All you Bitcoin dudes, y'all love this shit. Y'all love this shit. Because my biggest issue with Bitcoin dudes is y'all a little bit too fucking fanboyish about it, and y'all are not enough academic about it. So it becomes this like y'all and y'all gotta understand that. But anyway, and Myron's a perfect example of somebody that's definitely enthusiast of cryptos, but is not fanboyish about it. He knows how to communicate like what people that don't know need to know to really understand what the value of it is. Very good at that. Like this dude, look, man, BGS is great, and I'm not trying to undercut him. This dude is on point at BGS's level, if not a little bit higher. And I'm saying that so I can give y'all understanding as far as how smart this dude is. Obviously, BGS is smart. Obviously, BGS knows about the inner, the fucking, you know, fucking like, geopolitics. And I think he knows more about that than Myron does. But when it comes to like the economics and the sales shit, oh man, this dude can communicate this stuff better than anybody I've ever seen. So anyway, he was talking about this was in 2017, and he was really breaking down like if you would have invested this time it'd be worth now, and blah 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 blah. And it's interesting seeing where Bitcoin is now. And he was talking about this in 2017. Now here's the thing: why is that special? Because of course everybody was talking about Bitcoin in 2017 as far as people, right? What's so different about this dude? This dude sold like a $2,500 course to really educate you on Bitcoin. So he was really putting his money where his fucking mouth was back then. And this is a dude, and it's interesting seeing that. And I think this video, this video 2017 video, and seeing like where this dude has been, where he is now, where he was before in 2005, when you actually look at the breadcrumbs, because that's how you really tell the receipts. It's very interesting. But let me see, where am I at? Because I want to keep focused. But my thing is that people want to pretend like, and I say Detroit because that was the example Gabe A put because he said he's from there, his wife's from there. Okay, my point is Detroit, black people do not control Detroit like that, no more. Everybody else is going up in there. And the thing is, the big reason as to why we can't really reverse anything and everything is like a consistent slide is really because you got people that they want. Look, I understand the bubbles. I look, man, I'm in direct sales. I can tell you a lot of this shit, even the gender shit, just doesn't exist in that world because that world is very egalitarian. What you fucking do. It ain't about it's not about, all of it because that book, because it ain't about people relating like that. Who people like it's none of that comes into that space. So I understand being in certain bubbles and you don't have to really address anything, or if you're in a marriage bubble and you're just around everybody that's married, even if it's mostly black people and they're all married, I understand the bubbles. But what people have to understand is that's like saying, I'm gonna tell you, I get it and I get it. It's just like having like plumbing. We can all identify with having running water. Nobody knows what it's really like to be. Most people don't know what it's really like to be in a situation where water is not running for a long period of time, unless there's a disaster in the United States of America. Even if you're homeless, I mean, the concept of going, a hotel or anywhere around you has it. You just may not have access to it, right? So my thing is, I get it, but I need people to understand when people use that as like a baseline for their entire argument, that's like a rich person going into a poor area. Like that's like somebody in the 1% That they were born into that. It wasn't like they had to develop it. Going to everybody else that's not that, not in the 1%. And then trying to talk about, you know, talk about like, well, this is my world and this is this. Well, everybody around me is like this. You may have hundreds of thousands of people around you. Or you're from Chicago or San Francisco, or you've seen a certain city, part of the city that most people don't even get to see. This is like for me, when I went to the Philippines, I experienced my perspective of the Philippines would have been completely different than somebody that was born there, the average Filipino. The shit that's baseline for me is a come up for them. The buildings I were able to go into, like when I had Thanksgiving dinner, like just a lot of shit. It was catered. So I get it. But the thing is, people have to understand that your experience is not the experience. And the experience is the law of averages. And that is what we're talking about. So when I talk about something, I don't really talk necessarily about my own personal experience. Because if we're just talking, like, understand, most people I know, well, no, I won't say that. That's not true. Not most. But I know plenty of black people that are married, that married in their mid 20s or early 20s, are still married today, and they have no signs of being divorced. And nobody I know that married younger, has been divorced yet. I know plenty of people that like baby mamas and fathers are in good relationships, or at least they're inapplicable. A lot of the shit that I talk about, because I choose not to engage in that in real life, but a lot of like, I get it. But I also get I live in a certain place. There's certain things I don't have to deal with. Like even in urban environments that people have to deal with every day in most urban environments. So you have to understand where your experience stops, and like where the reality of it is. And the reality is not something where I have reality, you don't. The reality is this central thing that we also have to be looking at. Everybody has their own experience, and that may not necessarily be reflective in the collective reality of what's really going on. The statistics tell us where the black community is. 1 of 4 black women will be married. That shit should tell you really everything you. 1 in 4 black women will be married. Half of your black men don't have kids, and 80% of divorces that the black community has is aggravated by women. Those statistics alone, even without the single motherhood statistics, which we know what those are, but even if you take that and you don't put that up, that shit should tell you everything you need to know. And then looking at the poverty rate, then looking at the student loan debt, that should tell you everything you need to know about the black community. Right there, those couple of things. And notice how I didn't jump into the more controversial things. There are more black men in prison in the United States of America than women in prison in the world. Black men are less than 6% of the population. And then it's not immigrants. And those are ADOS black men. You know good and goddamn well most of them dudes are not immigrants or first gen, because if they're immigrants, they're just going to be deported. And usually they're not going to be, very rare they're going to be first gen. So we know the majority of those are like a focused group of black men. It's not just like, oh, it's everybody is spread out. Even though immigrants will be like 10% of black people. So and even when people like to say, well, 65% of black men are in middle class, that's bullshit. And that's why you never hear me say that. Because being in the middle class just means you're above the poverty line. We know there is what we know the middle class is. And then we know what is barely scraping by. The middle class is defined by the United States. What we understand it to be is not. And this is why Myron Golden basically said, if you make less than $50,000 a year, you might as well consider yourself poor. Glendon has a similar belief. And I know some of y'all may get triggered by that. It's not about that. What it's about is saying you understand that, and then you understand that only 20% of black men actually make more than $50,000 individually. Like we'll say 25. That really creates a real understanding as to where we are. Versus when people call Kevin, you got motherfuckers talking about, well, 6 figures is like should be it's above average, but it's barely above average. We are not in reality. And it's great. And see, like-minded people are around like-minded people. I know people that are around, like, I know black people. Like, trust me, sometimes I'm gonna be real. Sometimes, not really, but every once in a while, I'll be like, you know what, fuck you niggas, fuck YouTube. I'm taking my ball. I'm going back to the affiliate marketing space. I'm staying my ass there. I'm going back to like the direct sales space where black men and black women, where it's only black women that's got some goddamn sense for the most part. Black men are not as there as many numbers I want to be, but it's a lot more there than what people think. It ain't this bullshit because we know why we're there. You either contribute or you're not. You can fall out when you want to. All this bullshit is just not there. Motherfuckers got money. You see black people making killer money. Sub-Zero 3639 talked about that. He was talking about the internet marketing event he went to. The problem was it wasn't hardly no black being there, and I get it. But it was some, but it was a lot, but whatever. But it was enough. It's this bullshit's not there, right? So dudes got people got money, people got credit stuff. I was just listening to somebody I haven't listened to in a while. Tracy Walker. She was ranting against a lot of stuff. And yeah, it was breath of fresh air. I get it. When you are in that group, everybody around you is in that group because they're tend to be by the same rules. So it's like this thing is seen as this thing that's kind of far away. That's not real to you because you're not dealing with it. And as somebody that lives in North Carolina, that I got my mom, it got us away from the bullshit. So it's just certain things I don't have to worry about. Like, I don't have to worry about locking my door. I don't have to worry about, taking the keys out of my car when I go in the store real quick because I think it's gonna be gone. You know, I don't have to worry about that. So these are things when I get into these environments, whether they're just cities, I have to make sure I'm on point. There's just certain things I just don't have to worry about. Now that granted, even get stopped by the police and they be on some bullshit, they're not gonna be on some like complete bullshit, especially if I don't got a record. Cause then they gonna have to make but it's just and it's not in that same level as what I know it would be if I was in Chicago. It's just not. I don't gotta worry about motherfuckers constantly coming for me because it's like a kill or be killed world. It's certain things I just might worry about, you know. And then we're not even gonna get into the idea of the thing about me being short too. So it's just certain threat level things I just don't activate with people. So in the same way, so I can just move through the world probably a little bit differently because I kind of fade in. I don't really pop people's notice like that, and I consider that an advantage. I get it. I get, having good credit, being around people that got good credit, being around people. We could just talk shop finance and talk, never talk about no nigga shit. I get all of that. I get all of that. And I think people don't understand that when people engage in this space that, there's a cost to doing that. But I know that that's not the world. That's like a 1 in 10, if that, black person world. That's not the world most black men and black women have. That's like saying, oh, I only deal with 92s. Well, most of the black, we're underrepresented in 92s. Glenn and Cameron, millionaire black man that was homeless. Remember what I told you all about me referencing other people, they have more credibility. Dude went from homeless being, and never had bad values. It wasn't like he was a fuck up. He talked about he didn't have money knowledge, which is ironically a similar situation Myron Golden was talking about. And went from that to sales to where he is now. And he talks about how recently he's been doing like a focus. Y'all, if y'all are not watching him, y'all need to go back and watch him because he changed his channel of franchise tag, and now he's talking about like black group economics, talk about getting black people to have businesses. Fuck y'all, fuck y'all. Talk about who somebody dating and shit. We're only talking about business. So if you go over there, and y'all don't bring that over there. Do not do that. And he was talking about like it's like less than 1/2 of 1% of black businesses when we should be really at like a 300,000 business. Like we should be like a 300. It's like a number where we're like way off that number, but it's an achievable number. And keep in mind, Glenn and Cameron's channel was created for men. It wasn't created for women. Now, granted, he's not gonna not take women's money and women are welcome. But keep in mind, he understands it's not created for black men. It's created for men. But he is a black man, so it's not like he's gonna throw us under the bus. And he's made that clear because he has no problem calling shit out when he wants to. The point is that if you're around black people that they have businesses in their life, their minds is like that, or professional class, that is your bubble. So you don't know what the reality is. And then on top of that, if we're dealing with a situation where people are not full ADOS, and I'm not trying to exclude, what I'm saying is if I'm ADOS, I can't speak on African shit like that because I'm not there. Like, even if I'm there, like O'Shea was in Uganda, like, you don't have the same kind of, you're born into it. And I'm not trying to dismiss somebody from being ADOS. I'm not saying if you're not ADOS, you can't speak on it. But what I'm saying is it's always this consistent bullshit where people take their cultural shit and the shit that they grew up and they apply it to shit that doesn't apply. And see, and this is not one of the fucking things that's fucking kind of, this is not one of the things that, well, you can kind of bridge the fucking gaps. No, it's very different. It is as different as a white man trying to come into our stuff, telling us about what the fuck we got to tell it. The shit we deal with is nothing like what they deal with their women. Because you see how they respond when their women act the way they act with how, black women act with us. They instinctually respond a certain type of way. Even today, where white men today are not like white men of yesteryear. They instinctually respond a certain way. Now, granted, I get that you got dudes, these fucking liberal motherfuckers that are just cucking it up. I get that. I'm not saying that doesn't exist either. But that ain't the majority of how they operate. That's not. And that's not. Majority of them are not cucking it up like they are in Washington State, taking care of white kids with mixed babies. That is not what the fuck is going on, and you all know that's not what the fuck is going on. I see it, but that's not the majority. And this is a big reason why the black manosphere had to be a thing, because they don't get it. They don't care, and I'm not saying they should. That's on us to deal with our shit, but they really don't get it. And you see it when they try to talk, because it's just they can't help but apply their experience. And part of that is human nature. And you recognize that. And you try to point it out to kind of say, okay, but then you got to understand, okay, they're not. This is not. And it's the same thing. And that cultural difference, even though we're both American, is the same thing that goes on internally in the manosphere. Whether it's this pookie shit where you got niggas that, look, man, I don't give a fuck about where you come from. As far as I'm looking at it, it's like you're productive or non-productive. If you're productive, I can work with you. But the thing about it is you got people that they want to romanticize the hood. They want to romanticize shit. But then, they don't want the world to, they want the world to improve, but they don't want shit to change. They want the hood to be the center of the community, knowing good and goddamn well you will never have a competitive community with that bullshit. And one of the things I brought to, I was talking about with Gabe on art shit is, and this is how I'm going to start applying it, how when people talk about, and I'm talking about a couple of things here, like that dishwasher shit, and I'm not saying that I heard that recently, but that's been brought out by a certain school of thought. Is, so would you consider a married man to be a dishwasher? Like, are you talking about men with children are supposed to pick up, the litters of bastards that you did because you wanted to sexually prove yourself because that's what you thought being a man was? And people are supposed to clean shit up. No, I'd rather perform surgery and segment that shit out, and then and basically create another community. And guess what? The people that are on some real shit, like the Love Dorsey's and shit of the world, you'll have certain rules. Like they can come along because they're, at the end of the day, they still have the necessary values of it. This is why I refer you to her, because I let people know, no, this is not about me saying if you're a street person, fuck you. No, I'm not like that, because I've actually jumped into multiple zones. I'm me at the end of the day, but I know people like her. They sound a certain type of way, but when it comes down to it, they got common fucking sense. And they generally act on that and not on the fuckery. And I know people that they look a certain type of way. They may be a professional class woman, but they always in some fuck shit. The look is not so much really what, even though, yes, I'm a conservative by nature. So there is certain things about, like, yeah, of course. Would I marry a woman that looks like her? No. But I'm not. But at the same time, but that's not somebody. But that's not somebody I would deal with in other ways. A lot of that has to do with my preference. It's not about what's big for her. Yeah, do I think the way she talks, cause she gets somebody? Sure. Can I believe she's married after having a conversation with her? Yes. Especially in the black community. Yes. Especially in the modern community. So it's not about that. It's not about the street. Shout out to Runway Billionaire. Shout out to Marshawn Lynch. I think that's a smoke screen. And I'm kind of talking about two different things now. So anyway, let's bring this back. Let me get y'all super chats. I ain't trying to be rude. I appreciate y'all doing the super chats. So Gary, you appreciate Maurice said just because somebody looks like you doesn't mean you are part of the same tribe. Exactly. Smurgo says a lot of dudes in the sphere just be running their mouth and yell at the top of their lungs and trick guys. Yeah, they try to use charisma. Son is a hot rock. Congrats on coining the phrase Highlander syndrome because I've been hearing it different panels lately. Exactly. And I don't give a fuck about the credit. There's a lot of phrases. There's a couple of phrases I've coined. The guy, look, BGS was talking is the main source of the gynocracy information, but make no mistake, I'm the one that's promoted it. That shit would just be like in his library. But I understood that culture was the main problem. And by the way, yes, I was in the Coliseum and because I came at it, why can't we economically just come together on that? Because that's tangible. And I had to be convinced culture was the issue. And that's something I didn't look at before. So yes, that comes from BGS too. Let me give credit where credit's due. But with that being said, that's the issue. We don't have a social contract. And going back to O'Shea's, and you have two things that I'm gonna reiterate. Then I'm gonna get on O'Shea's video. Number one, is you have two sides, and I'm talking about the men right now. Two sides. On the one side is you have people that they just want to draw a line and never come off that fucking line. I can be accused of being on that side. On the other side, you have people. The other extreme is you have people that, and I'm going to say it in a way I know you all can understand it. There's a reason why so many people if you hear the word network marketer or MLMer, or I'm in an MLM, or I'm in network marketing, you are automatically going to recoil because of what you heard, either directly, indirectly from somebody. Nobody's going to debate that in this chat. With that being said, when I use terms like sexual politicking, that's essentially what's going on. It's the same thing. You're always trying to sell something. I'm always waiting for the fucking pitch. It's coming. I know it's coming because I know that's what you do. That's the mindset. Now we can argue back and forth why it was the same thing. I forget what her name was. I forgot. But she was coming through here. She had 500,000 subs, and she was talking about, oh, that's not real. That's not a real business. And she's on YouTube. Her money comes from YouTube, but she's trying to say, oh, that's not a real business. Knowing good and goddamn well, people would have told her that she doesn't have a real business because she's a YouTuber, because Glennon has said that. That's what people say they say about him. And he's a millionaire. My point is, it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what I show, what I prove, evidence. All it matters is once you see that I engage in that with those words that I'm using, you automatically have a position. That's okay. My point is, that's how black people are. Black men are always trying to elongate their conversation to come back to a central idea that's pretty much the same shit that's been said over and over and over again. These ideas are, at the end of the day, women choose the hood niggas because the hood niggas at the end of the day are the real black men and better black men. But they need everybody else to clean up the hood because they can't do it on their own. The idea of, well, we talk, all this shit happens on the internet, but in real life, it ain't really like that. So there's like WandaVision. We're in the hex, but everywhere else is outside the hex. If you consider the hex bad and everything else was good. So what we're doing is we're getting on social media, and I'm not saying this isn't true for certain people, but the majority of us are on social media, and this red pill shit is fucking with our brains and making us believe the real world is social media. So therefore, it creates a negative situation. That happens with some people. That's like the argument I hear out there in some of the big shit and small channels. That right? But the problem with that is you now have to defend that the real world is the absolute truth. You have to defend that now. And that's where they don't want to defend it. So they know the real on the ground in the field is bullshit, but they just don't like what we say. And my thing is, if you disagree, have an what's the alternative? Now, for example, Kevin Samuels is not a MGTOW. He doesn't like MGTOWs, right? For the most part, Alan Roger Curry doesn't like MGTOWs. Alan Roger Curry, mode one, got that pussy like he wanted, ended up getting married. Kevin Samuels is a promoter of marriage. Black people want to get married. People want to get married. All that shit about y'all talk is gassing up. So it's not like everything he says is completely in alignment with certain doctrine. And he's taking his shit with what he agrees and what he knows and believes for him, and it's applying that on his own shit. You got dudes there saying at the end of the day, who you kidding? A stepfather is your destiny. There's a couple of people I've heard say that. You see what I'm saying? So what they do is they try to have these elongated conversations, and it becomes this test of will. Like, who's gonna keep on running him out over and over? Like, a lot of this Democratic shit, I thought we had gotten rid of, as far as a lot of the new possibility shit. But you see shit come back. A lot of this ultra conservative shit, where niggas are like dick riding certain people. Thought we dealt with that, but that comes back. So these things come back in cycles, because nobody really wants to stay true or agree on what the real issue is. So this comes all the way fucking back 45 minutes in. I said I'm gonna try to get you short to O'Shea's video. Now O'Shea, this is where O'Shea says he's a Pan-Africanist, pro-black. That's great. But this video he did where it's him talking, and then he pitched, it was another dude, he showed the clip. And this dude articulated on Obsidian's thing, because he was talking to this Puerto Rican chick. And this chick basically, you don't hear it on his video, but basically what she was trying to say was she was trying to apply Puerto Rican culture to Ado's culture. And Hispanic culture is very machismo. Hispanic culture is very patriarchal. So yeah, you can have Colombians or 85% single mothers in Colombia, but Colombia is a different country with different game rules than United States. So if you do some shit, there's gonna be certain things that just are gonna be certain things you can understand is gonna happen in Colombia. That's not gonna happen here because they don't have the laws on their side like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. So it's two different things, even though technically the both things can be true. But the point is, she was trying to have this womanist mentality, and this is what like these Africans will do. These African women, they'll come here, and then they know they can't do shit with their men as far as this bullshit there. So their definition of what being a womanist is like on some feminism 2.0 shit at its strongest, but really feminism 1.0. And then they come here where we're really in feminism 4.0, which is feminine supremacy. Once we got past really 2.0, it no longer became about equality. It's about supremacy. And you see that articulated in how that woman was complaining that Kevin was even talking about on that video, that white woman, both of them. You see the mentality. This is a zero-sum game. And the reason why I brought up Mike and the reason why I brought up Ken, because this is who the fuck you're organizing with. I don't give a fuck about the minority, because those women, when it comes down to it, are not going to fight those other women. Those women that are about dominating will kill for their shit. They will betray for their shit. And they for sure have no problems throwing other women, black women, under the bus that are not on that shit. And that's why a lot of them women are quiet. And quite frankly, they don't have no answer about how to protect those women. This is why you don't really hear me holler about women need to speak up that much, because I understand what I'm asking. I'm asking for women to put themselves in mortal danger, because they are in mortal danger. And I understand black men, I'm going to say this so you can hear me well. I want to say this with a deep breath so you understand that I'm not just ranting. Black men are absolutely castrated. They are weak. And they are incapable of protecting black women against other black women. They are spineless, they are dickless, and it's a minority of black, and it's so bad that you have the black men can't even tell the difference anymore between a good black woman and a bad black woman. They can't tell the difference. It's all a queen to them. I'm not talking about Mike. I'm not talking about Gabe A. Let me be absolutely clear about that when I make that previous statement. Clearly, Gabe A knows what a good black woman is because he's married to a good black woman. Clearly, Mike V knows because Mike V don't strike me as talking that shit, dealing with that bullshit. So let me be very clear here. Not talking about them, but I'm talking about in general. By the way, both of them are not, 100% ADOS culture too, by the way. So they come from a culture where they wouldn't even deal with that bullshit like that. FYI. So they're being put aside for a second. And the whole thing has not really been about them. I'm just piggybacking on conversations I had with them. But as far as ADOS black men are fucking. This is where I can get on some Cynthia G shit. Everything Cynthia G said about black men is absolutely true when it comes to how black men deal with other black women. Black men, a black woman would be a motherfucking fool to count on a black man to protect her against another black woman. Now, they'll protect you against other groups, other races of women, other races of men. That's bullshit when they say we don't protect them against that. But when it comes to other women, you asked me the last time any of you all in the chat has seen a black man G fucking check hard another female, a black female, for what they did to another black female. Nigga, black men are not capable of protecting their. I'm gonna say this and y'all gonna be pissed off. I don't give a fuck. Fuck all you niggas with daughters. All you niggas with daughters. Fuck you. I'ma prove it to your fucking face. ADOS. If your daughter came to you and say she was sexually molested by another woman, what percentage of black... Now, we know what black men would do if it was a man that did that. Oh, we know. That's not what I'm questioning. What I'm questioning is your freshman high school daughter says that she was sexually assaulted by two other black women. She says it in those terms. Says, let's just say they pushed her around, beat her up, took her shirt off, had her when she was breast bare out. I want all you niggas with daughters to think, what the fuck would you do? Now, we know what you do if it was a man that did it. That's not what I'm questioning. That's not what I'm questioning. But if it was a female, oh, you'd have a whole bunch of holdback. I actually am very sure what you probably would do if it was a white man. Shout out to Time to Kill. Shout out. Remember that movie, A Time to Kill? Matthew McConaughey, Sandra Bullock, Denzel Washington. Not Denzel Washington, Samuel L. Jackson. Great movie. So that deals with the racial part. But if it was another black woman, if you found out, I'm going to say, look, you know what? That's extreme. That's extreme. That's extreme. I'm sorry. Let me say something that is likely to happen. What if you found out you got a light-skinned daughter, not mixed, but light-skinned. You found out you get a call from a hospital, her face is sliced up with a razor because a black bitch was jealous of her, and now she got a scar on her face for the rest of her life. What do you do? I know what you niggas are going to do. First thing you are going to do is you're going to go to that white man, go to the cops. You know why? Because everything in you has told you to not deal with that bitch. No matter what that bitch can do something to your own daughter. You niggas won't do shit. You niggas won't do shit. I will bet money 9 out of 10 of y'all, and I'm talking about 9 out of 10 of y'all that would go and take out another man if he does something to your daughter. Y'all wouldn't do shit to that woman. Y'all would hope The law handles it. And here's the funny thing about the law. We know the law won't handle it. You know the law is not going to really put down the same kind of law like weight that it would do if a man did it in this environment. You know this. And this is why a lot of your girls are being turned the fuck out. It's women turning them the fuck out. They get them primed for the dudes to do it. But see, dudes, you'll never hear dudes talk about that. They'll like to bring up dudes coming into high school and shit. You'll never hear them say it about other women because they don't know what to do. Why am I saying this? Why am I talking? Because when O'Shea said, and when the dude said that you're dominated by your women, I want you to understand you are dominated by your women. It's just they don't call your hoe card all the time. And see, now they're so bold that they'll start to do it. They're not calling your bitch card to the point where it's real to you. It's not like that. It ain't like, it's kind of like, with Hitler and them, and they got pushed into the cattle cars and they got, shipped out in the train tracks. You didn't really know where they were going. So there's like reasonable doubt. I was looking at World War II, this World War II in color. It's got a history of like 10 episodes. And they were talking about the concentration camps, and they said, we wouldn't have believed this. Even when we saw the body, they saw like maybe 10, 15 miles away from the camp as they were marching towards Germany. And they saw these people, the pictures, you've seen the pictures. When it comes to them you losing weight, all that. I don't need to describe that. But they were alive, and they pointed and said, you got to go here. You got to go here. They said in that moment, it was a dude. They said a dude survived to be 90. He said, we would not have believed this until we saw it. Even once we saw those bodies, we would have never believed that that's what really happened until they actually went to the camp. And that's why Eisenhower was so affected by like what he saw. That's really was the really genesis of the process of integrating black people rather than just killing us all off. Because Hitler got that idea from the American Medical Institution and the genetics and the eugenics. This is why I don't go that far with David Carroll on that eugenics shit. That's why I don't go that far. But the eugenics part, Woodrow Wilson was a eugenicist. This is why they had no problems experimenting on black people. Even soldiers. They had no problems doing that. Because they didn't think you should be alive anyway. I'm like, hey, Edward, what the fuck? What prompted this? I'm just going where the path takes me. With no filter, no holdback. The truth is the truth. But my point is, when people say and O'Shea even like had some holdback with it because he was like, well, it's 50-50. Nigga, it ain't 50-50. They all submit to it. Just like every white person is not like a full-blown white supremacist. We know this. But we know that it ain't like it's a plurality of them that's just so against it, they'll flip America upside down either. Look at all this Asian hate bullshit. This is a zero-sum game. Do you not understand? If Goldman Sachs said that they were giving $100 billion to black men, do you understand how angry black women would be? Black men are not really angry. They're more annoyed, but it is what it is. Black women will be angry. They would see that as an affront. Because in their minds, they go through more than black men do in this country. And that's actually an insane thought. Saying they go through more than black men in this country is like a white woman saying she goes through more than a black woman. It's that big of a gap. It's that big of a gap. And it's that disrespectful when they say it. But the thing about it is, and this is where like white supremacy is what's called Corey Hawk would say is wickedly brilliant. Because Black men are invested in this reality to the point where they're getting to tell you it doesn't exist because it doesn't exist everywhere. It's like we got to be in some Hezbollah situation for you to understand that. And that's the genius of a lot of the wickedness of the United States of America is you will always have just enough people that are doing well to have even those people. Michelle, and see, here's the funny thing. I remember the book, the Jim Crow 2.0. Michelle Alexander even said it. And this is a woman that comes from the higher classes. She said a lot of this shit, she thought black people were lazy. She thought a lot of negative stuff that we would call somebody a coon for saying because that wasn't her experience, because who her dad was, the people who were around her. But when she actually went out and looked, she saw a completely different picture. That's like me going saying, well, all of y'all are black in Africa. The fuck is your problem? We know why we're fucked up here. We got other people getting in our shit. Y'all have the majority population everywhere you are. The fuck? And you would think you would have learned from the white man doing it. Why are the Asians colonizing you? The fuck? You're literally letting them do the same thing. But see, then people got all of the smoke. They got all of the, I don't understand, I'm not there. Now all of a sudden the World Bank, now all of these white institutions, now that shit matters. That shit matters then, but they don't understand how us being the fact that our women can call 911 and get a ready-made white man with a gun, how that might not fuck up the black community a little bit. And then I almost get annoyed that I got to keep saying it. This is why shout out to people like Nameless. Shout out to people that are talking about the Highlander syndrome. Shout out to the people that are talking about the gynocracy. I was glad when that video, when he said that. Because he said literally what BGS was saying, what I've been pushing, and he laid it out. I'm long with it. I get it. Nameless is a lot focused than I am. But guess what? That dude, that other dude, he put it in like, it was like a 3-minute clip. Like it was like a 2-minute clip. And he laid it the fuck out. Live and in living color. To her. And she couldn't say shit. She couldn't say shit. Lala Anthony is Puerto Rican. Carmelo is Puerto Rican. But he was in New York. Look at who dominates that relationship. This is a big reason why black men are actually attractive to a lot of non-black women. By the way, they know they could do shit with us. They can't do shit with nobody else. And still get the benefits of the physical and usually the economics. And that's what the dude ended. He said, you're witnessing the destruction of black America because what you're seeing is these other groups are going to cherry pick. We're only 6% of the population. Like 8%. Like 8%. They're going to cherry pick these other groups. They're going to do that. They're going to interbreed with you, the best of you. And when I say the best of you or the best of us, I mean economically as well as physically. They're going to pick the best, and they're going to, and shout out to Mr. Research. He talked about this a lot. He's one of the main ones to talk about, like, when you go up against somebody else's family that's a lot more intact, you're going to be absorbed by that family. You see that in Kobe and Vanessa. And Vanessa is not against black men. But we know, and even if Kobe would have been alive, we know what happened, how Kobe was treated by the black community. Even though Kobe did a hell of a lot more than most. We're an hour in. Sup, Craig the Tech Guy. So my point is, just because you individually are not going through something, that's like somebody saying, I'm individually wealthy and I got money. Okay, great. So that means black poverty doesn't exist? Well, no, I didn't say that. But that's what you implied. And that's what happens. People imply this shit, and then they try to keep the conversation away from the things that actually need to be discussed in order to move forward. A lot of what we do here is intellectual masturbation because it's never going to lead to conclusions that actually make matter. It's basically, if you're saying that black men should just be behind black women because black women are getting all the money, then essentially what you're saying is accept the gynocracy as is, and then we don't even need a manosphere. We really don't. Because at that point, you're accepting that you're a transsexual. You're not a man. At least in spirit. That's the path that you're accepting. You can try to say that's not, you try to front on that bullshit, and on the opposite side. If the only thing you give a fuck about is a bitch validating you sexually, and that's what you mean as far as manhood, niggas like that don't build shit usually. They generally don't. They become concubines. You know why? Because your your biological imperative has already been met. Other races actually know how to use that to hand up black men. They understand if I show them enough pussy, that nigga's not gonna want to compete. And it works almost every time to the point where they can still be friends with you. This is why even though they get somewhat annoyed, they get mad. They get mad, a lot of them, but you see the majority, they not changing that shit. So anyway, my point is all of this, and the reason why that really amped me up, because all of this womanish shit, like when she was saying that shit, or like it's like, bitch, it's like, you see what we're talking about. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. Like, don't talk to me about how Puerto Ricans get down, because that's not how the fuck. Angel Ramirez, Jordan, I believe I think was Puerto Rican. Like, I get it. We're just because we have approximation. Shit, J Lo is Puerto Rican, I believe. Don't quote me on that one. So this idea that, we're fighting against a patriarchy is the black and see, this is where I really got like annoyed. When I ask black women, is the black community a patriarchy, matriarchy, gynocracy, or some other? They never say it's a patriarchy. And when they do, you can tell they know they're lying when they say that. So how is it a patriarchy? Well, because you all have you can fuck who you want to. So basically, because as a man, I have the freedom to choose to have sex with who I want to have sex with, female wise, that means that we're in a patriarchy. Okay, that's code for that's the last thing you can't control that I do. And that's only happened a few times. But for the most part, they never say patriarchy. And then I remember when I asked Bella that, I said, so when has the black community been a patriarchy? They don't even try to point out Jim Crow. They don't even try to say then. So that let me know, you bitches know. You bitches know. So it ain't like you don't know. So when people talk about education or what the white man's government did, you mean the white man's government in partnership with you. Because the white man has always been doing shit since we've been on this continent. For those of you all that believe that, which I believe, because some of y'all believe we've always been here, okay, fine, that's not the argument. Point being, we're not in we've never been so here. It's only when women decided to team up with the government, get the man out the home, however it happened, is how we get what we get today. Plus, with the crack era as an accelerant. Everybody wants to shame and guilt, need to be right, and try to hide that shit. But the ironically is, if you could hide it and fix the shit, I would. But when they try to hide it, it's kind of like white people trying to deny slavery. They're trying to say, okay, we are where we are. We're not going to talk about the benefits we got. Fuck slavery. We're not going to talk about the benefits they got from Jim Crow. Fuck Jim Crow. We're not even going to talk about the benefits they got in World War II versus what black men had. There's an article that I emailed to BGS that I saw on Bing.com. Bing.com is great for trending articles. That it talked about in Orange County, one of the premier properties, like the first properties that were bought in Orange County, it was taken from a black family, and now the state has it. That property is worth $75 million. They're quote unquote thinking about giving it back to the family, to the descendants of the family. Now they have already given them a settlement, so they don't have to do it, but they straight up took it, and they're admitting they straight up took it. They used eminent domain. That's what they said. They did that everywhere. I don't need slavery. We can go to Jim Crow. We can go, there's 5 crimes against humanity. And the most recent one is has been partnership with black women. Is it every black woman 100%? No, it ain't. But it ain't some either. It ain't 50% either. Majority, like, is it just some black women that are feminists? No, we know most of them are. They may not be card carrying. And my thing is, I don't give a fuck about what y'all want to say about organizing. You know, the reason why I'm not completely against hyper individualism, because the truth is, we're either going to fix it or we're not. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to win. I'm going to partner with like-minded people. Try for them to be black men, try for them to be black people, but I'm going to do what I need to do to win. I'm going to win. I'm not going to sacrifice myself for you motherfuckers, and you all ain't even serious. At the end of the day, all y'all doing is finding a way to accept the bullshit as is. Okay, so why are we here? And it comes at different angles. It's this, we need to accept that the street nigga is the alpha and the warrior. Look, any nigga that tells me the street nigga is a warrior class, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. Anybody that says that, shut the fuck up. Gentrification is already proven you all can't defend shit. The real estate developers already know all they got to do is move to Section 8. And because most of y'all living up under the bitches, and where they move the bitches, you will go. Crime and all. They know this. This is why they've been able to so effectively gentrify us. What have you fucking defended? Anybody that says that, what have you fucking defended? Show me an assault that y'all were able to keep them from getting what y'all wanted. Your women say they're not protected. You got the only women out here really out here yelling they're not protected. So but y'all are exceptions to that rule. I'm not in the warrior class. So that's not my job. I'm in the builder class. Well, what have you built? I built shit for me. Question is, you ain't found nobody to build for you because you ain't shit. Talk about women that say that. Because white men build. So why don't you got a white man? Oh, they don't want you? Not my problem. Not my problem. Do, 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 do. Justin March, appreciate it. FG, appreciate it. All right. So let's go from the top. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, what it comes down to is black men are just going to deal with like-minded black men. You know, like David Carroll is an example of a like-minded black man. You know, as David Carroll says, smoke on them sticks, which I don't smoke, but I know where the black men already do. So I trust me, I've been in my share of coughing through cigar lounges to get a hold of the black men that got some money. But 'cause I don't smoke. But the thing is, black men are going to deal with each other. People are going to deal with each other in pockets. And then it is what it is. There's not going to be no black nation within the United States. It's not going to happen. You know, motherfuckers that want to travel, they're going to do what they're going to do, irregardless of what motherfuckers want to say. It is what it is. But if you're looking for black people to do some centralized shit, well, you're gonna have to address some shit because you're not talking to black men in a vacuum. You're talking to black men that are saying, I can do what I can do for me and for people around me against you asking me to sacrifice for something. Okay, sell me on why I should do that. Well, you should do that because that's a part of being manhood. That's a part of survival. Really? Like me not building my own family, like me not doing shit that I want to do and building my economics to pass along to my kids is not also a part of my survival. It becomes this bullshit that doesn't mean anything because quite frankly, all it comes down to, the common denominator with all of it comes down to you need to get behind that bitch and then you need to like it. And make no mistake, I talk a lot, but I can definitely sum it up. I know how to. Oh, that's what you're saying. I can ask 3 questions and get to where the heart or the root of what the fuck you talking about. The black community cannot move forward unless it's going to be more it's going to move in a more patriarchal direction. I don't give a fuck what you say about organization, anything. All that shit's bullshit. All that shit is just moving paper around. It is. Even great corporations like Sears eventually fell from doing that bullshit. So if we're not serious, I'm all for putting out the black empowerment shit. I'm all for dealing with black men and black women. But at the end of the day, I'm not about to sit here and give away the store. I'm not doing that. And then the other question, I'll prove it to you. I'll prove y'all said like with the 3 questions shit. I ask any of you brothers this, and I ask any black woman this is listening. Ask me what black women are willing to sacrifice. No, fuck that. Ask me what black men are supposed to sacrifice. This is how you get black women. If you want to know, I'm gonna give you, for those of you all that are listening right now, congratulations. How do you know if a black woman is on your team? And one simple question. Two questions, actually. Ask them, what should black men sacrifice for a better black community? Ask them and make sure they give you an answer, right? And once they give you an answer, ask them what black women should sacrifice. And tell them you are not allowed to say, but black men need to do it first. No, because nothing you said is nothing. When you ask them the first question, I promise you, it never entered into their mind that black men have to do something first. Or it's always, or black women have to do something to get that. If you notice, black women don't expect to have to do anything for the black men that they want, even if it's a six-figure nigga. But they do expect black men to go over a river and through the world and through the woods for a bitch that is literally like a 3 on the just being a quality person scale. Ask them another question. What black women do you believe don't deserve to be protected? They won't care. They can't tell you because they've honestly never pondered it. And I can tell when I ask questions, even over the phone, that have never been considered. Because your brain has to go to a certain thought process if you've never even thought about it before. That's the beauty of asking open-ended questions. Because they can't say you're trying to push them anywhere. I'm asking you an open-ended question. Let's see what you think. I'm probing your brain. They won't tell you. They won't be able to give you an answer. I bet you the Six Goddess can tell you what black women should sacrifice for a better community. I bet you Love Dorsey could tell you. April Mason probably could come up with an answer, but she'd probably try to redirect it first. But most of these women can't. They wouldn't be. They can't even conceive of that idea. Now you ask most black men, what should black men do for black women? Oh, these niggas will give you a laundry list of shit. That tells you everything you fucking need to know. And so we're going to play this let's pretend it doesn't exist game. Look, man, that's cool. I'm not saying we only need to talk about this, but I just know y'all ain't as serious as y'all think y'all are. And I'm already about making my money. I'm be working on that, living my best life. And that doesn't mean me, SYSPM, fuck black women. No, I ain't saying that. But I'm saying is I'm going to deal with the people at the level that it ain't even about levels. It's more, I like to think of it more like-minded people in the zones where I know what the social game rules are, and I'll be good. And I'll be like, damn, that's fucked up what they going through. Shit. Because unlike other people, I know that motherfuckers, they are where they are because that's where they want to be. Talking that shit. Make sure y'all hit my cash. I've been throwing out some bombs today, man. I appreciate the super chats. Hit my cash app up, man. Allen 100K. $ ALLEN 100K. Hit my cash app up. I appreciate it. How about y'all that Justice League? I see Man of Tomorrow in there. How about that Justice League tomorrow? How about that Falcon and Winter Soldier Friday? Got some good shit coming up. So, Tackman, Clan Killer, my cousin been married since 21 years old. They've been together for the past 18 years off too. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I know black people that are married. Why you think I promote blackandmarriedwithkids.com? I'm not saying it's not alien. See, the thing that makes me dangerous is not that I'm just saying all black women are like that. The thing that makes me dangerous is I can tell the difference. I know the black women that need, and I'm not even saying the ones that just are married are the ones that need to be protected. I'm shit. I know the black women that are single mothers that are on the team. Like, I know the difference. And I don't need them to say a whole bunch of bullshit for me to know. Most black men can't tell the difference. A lot of y'all mama wants shit. So you're not going to expect no woman to be better than your fucking mom, right? I don't know what Smurgo is in MOT was doing earlier, and I don't know. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if Tom. Look, I don't generally. Tommy doesn't come across my algorithm because I don't watch none of his shit. And I'm not whatever. I understand y'all fuck with him. Look, it is. It is. Tommy, shut the fuck up. Tommy. Kevin are two completely different people. And quite frankly, y'all niggas, y'all wanna fucking dick ride Tommy so hard. You know, Tommy is an ego dude too, and it is what it is. I'm not saying he should be on YouTube, but whatever, y'all like whatever, man. All that is just him rambling, and Kevin. No, Kevin and Tommy are not. They're not the same type of person. So once again, that's another Highlander syndrome, nigga. It's kind of like a video game. When you get to higher levels, you get past, Goro. Now you dealing with Shang Tsung. Now you dealing with Shao Kahn. Now you dealing with Shinnok. Now you dealing with Onaga. Now you dealing with the time bitch. That's basically you just getting up levels. Now each level you get higher YouTuber to start feeling a certain type of way for no reason. And I know why they feel in a certain type of way because their audience is talking about somebody that ain't them and they don't like it. But maybe he's just trolling. I appreciate that Cash App from I don't know. It'll come through. Nigga, what you say about my mom? You never hear nobody wild out about nigga what you say about my daddy, but what you say about my mama? Yo, them niggas are willing to. They will kill. They will catch a case for that. They will catch a case for that. They will go to jail about what for defending mama's order. What? Appreciate Sam. I am appreciate that. Ados is a premier. Ados is a premier career community. What's your point about black men not checking black women? It's broader context. I came late, so my point is, well, you gonna have to listen to the replay. I can't repeat that fire I just gave. But the thing about it is, at the end of the day, black men are incapable of protecting black women from other black women, which means black women can always pull that trump card. This is why black men are always asking dumbass questions about can you do this without your women? No other race of men would ask that. Only black men. This should go to Obsidian's channel and then go to O'Shea's video where he references it. His like second recent video. That's Obsidian and Kevin Samuels in it. Talk about why are black women angry at Kevin Samuels. John Doe, I know that like John Doe, I know the link you're talking about, nigga. That's a statistically insignificant that's a statistically insignificant situation. I saw that. I know exactly who you're talking the video you're talking about. And by the way, they were actively beating her ass. Every scenario, just to be fair, every scenario that I put up was if you were told something, not something where it's actively in real time you getting your ass you beating somebody ass. Like so that's a little bit different. But that's a little bit different. But no, that's that even that is statistically insignificant. You know that ain't the norm. It is Isaiah, it is a BS target point. Okay, yeah, okay, Don Calypso. I thought she was Puerto Rican. They all are feminists. The question is to what degree? Smargo talk about street niggas are in perfect warrior class. Smargo, you need to study up. Okay, you sitting here talking about that, nigga. The only reason you say that is because they're the ones that are the most violent. But then, man, nigga, stop. And notice here's what kills me. Notice how they say they're like your warrior class are the black men in the United States military. For anybody to say the street niggas are more of a warrior class than black people in the armed services, you're a joke. And I say that with love, but I'm just saying, you're a fucking joke. And I'll ask you this. Any nigga in the United States military, well, who would you bet if they got into a fight? A dude that's in the military or a dude that's in the street? Who would you bet would win generally? Come on, man. Let's stop being stupid. Street dudes just need focus. You mean they need to be told what the fuck to do? And by the way, there's such a what warrior class do you know fight each other? Black on black crime is a thing. And if you actually know why these niggas are killing each other, a lot of times they're killing each other at the direction of a bitch. But I'm not gonna argue that because Spargo, that's an emotional idea that you're connected to. I understand that. You're not coming off of that idea, so I'm not gonna try to I'm not gonna waste my time trying to disagree. Shout out to Xanatos Clutch. Oh, Xanatos. I know you like the stream that I was putting out. I know you like that. Who's going to do a Photoshop? I kept saying going up to Mortal Kombat levels and other stab meets. I mean, we got people in here that could do it. Oh shit. I gotta email that to somebody. I gotta email that to somebody. That's a great idea. Sup, Rocco Killer? I notice ain't nobody giving me a lot of pushback because I've been throwing out some bombs, man. I might, I'm gonna keep this up for like 48 hours. I might think about putting this, this is some shit that would normally go to Patreon. I'm just saying. Like I'm not trying to, talk a whole bunch. This ain't about going at somebody, but but I want y'all to understand there's shit behind what the fuck I say. I'm not saying there's nothing behind what anybody else says, but people be thinking I just be fucking ranting for no reason and I just be getting. I'm like, no, like Galo, you just talk. No, I don't talk. No. I started amping back up when you started acting like, oh, well, the majority of us is this. That's not really what the majority of black community is. Well, I'm like, well, show me this 65%. Will I am the way black men in the manosphere go at Kevin saying when he doesn't say anything at all to them is proof that black men do not have it. No, they don't have a code of conduct. No. No, they don't. We really don't. We don't have a social contract amongst each other. We don't have it. This is why all these battles are predicated on social not having a social contract. All this shit where you want to throw out somebody as a pedo without no proof. That's all like, man, there's no rules. Most street ninjas are only tough against other ninjas when it's white men show up. Absolutely. You want to tell me man? Smurgo want to talk about a warrior class? Man, I know Smurgo is of a certain age. I forget the age I was when that Trayvon Martin situation happened. That shit happened like what? That shit happened like 6 years ago now. And keep in mind, Zimmerman's not a cop. Zimmerman's not white. He's Hispanic. Where all them warrior niggas? Them nothing to lose niggas. Don't fuck tell me on a fucking warrior class. Fuck out of here. That's just some machismo, testosterone. The bitches choose me and love me, so they gas me up, nigga shit. The same bitches that love you today are the same bitches that say you're not protected. They're not protected. The same bitches that will throw you under the bus. The same bitches that'll use that white man's court to destroy you. You want to know what a real nigga looks like? Walk in the child support court. Go in the courtroom one day, and I used to do weird shit like this, and just sit in the child support court. I know where it is because I was in the a long time ago. I used to have to deal with foster care, so I know where those courts are. I know what days they have them on because they have them on certain days. Just sit there and see. Look at the niggas that come in there. Nigga, these women love me because we the warrior class. They can't help but be on that testosterone, nigga. No, you're a reflection of their bullshit choices, which is why they call Kevin, and Kevin's giving them their exit interview. This is why you're done. Kevin's show should be called the This Is Why You're Washed show. The Kevin Samuels Show, a deeper look as to why you're washed. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Tune in. The Why You're Washed Show. I'm going to hell. Anyway, bear with me, y'all. Keep in mind, I might be start talking a little bit about success. I'm gonna start talking a little bit more success education, internet marketing stuff. You know, like I said, at Myron Golden shit, I'm gonna be pushing. We're gonna have some fun. Ha! Xanatos. Smargo. A woman does not have sex with a man they don't feel protected by. Unless it's a trick host situation. And I mean a direct like transaction situation. So if she's fucking you, she feels protected by you. I'm straight like that. So when women talk about they're not protected, I'm like, okay, so you having sex with black men? Yeah. Okay, that's a lie. That's not true. So trust me, a lot of that I ain't protected is bullshit. Also, make sure y'all check out David Carroll's last stream. He went in. Shout out to Don Calypso for getting it for me because I don't be knowing where it is. Shout out to Charles Irby because David Carroll on some. You got to email him shit, which I get it, but I'm too lazy for that shit. Make sure y'all get them likes up. I don't like that 69 number. I mean, sure, we all protect people that's close in our life. I mean, you know, this idea that black women ain't got no nigga to protect them, bullshit. But I'm talking about just when I say protection, I'm talking about like random protecting random bitches I don't know. That's mainly what I'm talking about. Who are y'all excited about that Justice League? About that Captain America and Winter Soldier. A lot of people are talking about that Kirk Franklin and his son shit. My only thoughts on that is what his son did is some hoe shit. That's all that is. That's some hoe shit. That's some hoe shit. The end. I'm using female. Hold on. Who using female logic? I know you ain't talking about me. Okay, well, I never heard Tariq Nasheed say that. And I disagree with that. It don't matter where it comes from. Oh, okay. I got you. It don't matter. I don't agree with everything Tariq Nasheed says, and that's some dumb shit. You got to remember, Tariq Nasheed comes from a world where squares fucked him over and real niggas did it. That's his world. That's what he says. Whatever. But no, I disagree with that. And I can believe he said that. Tariq sound like somebody would say some shit like that. But then again, I don't listen to Tariq all the time. Honestly, man, when it comes to like marketing and shit, Tariq knows his shit. Yeah, and Falcon and Winter Soldier is 6 episodes for an hour. But you see this meme going around with they got Snoop Dogg and all these games saying fuck because he quit. It's shit's funny as hell to me. Yeah, appreciate we got that like for the 70. Tariq, man, Tariq is on point. Like Tariq is on point. He's got some stuff sometimes, but for the most part, Tariq is on point. You can learn a lot from him. I'm not even talking about on the white supremacy shit. Tariq knows how to market himself very well, and he is taught that stuff. Like one of my best videos, I gotta go get it, is a video with him and Boyce. I mean, he gave you the game, like for real, based on his own experience. And I mean, again, y'all got to get out of this. I don't like niggas, but don't worry, I got people y'all be cool with. Don't worry. Anyway, all right, so I'm proud of myself. We did just an hour and a half, not 2 hours. I appreciate y'all with the super chats once again. That's always great. I'm thinking about so I'm probably gonna do a channel on TikTok. But if I and the reason why is if I get 1,000, I could go live on TikTok. Because I think I'm gonna start talking a lot more about success stuff, internet stuff. It's time to start putting people in position to make some changes in their life. Man, I don't give a fuck. Meek, I like that song. Shout out to Art of Ignore. I like Meek Slide. Y'all kiss my ass. Like I got respect for people that do like want to do shit and execute shit. Say what you want to about Tariq. Tariq executes what he wants, and that's something that a lot of black men can learn from, whether you like it or not. That Meek Slide. In fact, Meek Slide is an alarm. I got that as an alarm clock because that shit wakes me the fuck up. I got respect for that. No, I'm not gonna be a TikTok. You be surprised the age demographics on TikTok. It's not just younger people. So no, I'm not gonna be on the TikTok. In fact, a lot of my lives will be the same. My TikToks, there's some fuck man. Don't knock it. This I hate saying don't knock it till you try it, but there's some funny shit. Like in fact, I'm gonna show you something since y'all wanna talk shit. I want to show you something. Let me know if you can hear it. It's a lot. Like 2021 is like seriously. I'm telling you, take TikTok seriously. Take it a lot. Take it seriously, man. I get it. I get what you thought because I think it. I know. I know. Come on, where's the? I thought the same thing. Damn. Like I'll give you an example of some of the stuff. Yeah.
Dude, when we yawn, do deaf people think we're screaming? Really? We're doing this again? If you're waiting for the waiter, aren't you the waiter? Oh, you keep talking, alright? Why aren't iPhone chargers just called apple juice? Bruh, if you work as security at a Samsung store, does that make you guardian of the galaxy? My guy, how do you throw away a garbage can? Please stop, my brain hurts. If you buy a bigger bed, you're left with more bedroom, but less bedroom. Dude, when we yawn, do deaf people think we're screaming? Really? We're doing this again? If you're waiting for the waiter, aren't you the waiter? Oh, you keep talking, alright? Why aren't iPhone chargers just called apple juice? Bruh, if you... Why is it called taking a dump when you're leaving? Kind of funny how being down for something and up for something being the same thing. If you're in the living room and you pass away, did you die or you just knocked out? Why is the pizza box square if the pizza is a circle and the slice is a triangle? Yo, why is it called a building if it's already built? How does a sponge hold water if It's full of holes. The prophecy is true. Why is it called bro? The more I light my lighter, the lighter my lighter gets until it's too light to light. Bro, I love you. But can we not do this while I'm on the toilet? Do you realize that history classes are only going to get longer and more difficult as time goes on? What if every country in the world has ninjas, but we only know about Japan's ninjas because they're so bad at being ninjas? Seriously, can you get the heck out of here? I can't do my business while there's someone in the room.
See,
I have a shot ladder. Why is there a D in fridge, but not in refrigerator? My guy.
that's not even the one I wanted to show you, nigga. I will never do a silhouette challenge, but I'm gonna start pushing y'all. Hey, y'all can think that shit was goofy, but at the end of the day, man, he executed. People executing shit, people can learn from that. And where's that other? And trust me, there's a lot of brothers on TikTok not doing bullshit. What I'll probably do is upload some of my videos. I haven't done any videos yet, but when I do them, and then yeah, I'll give you an example of like some. So this is a dude by the name of Vandercorp. You see, he's got 500 something followers. Look, that's
So you have LLC sole prop on one hand, and then say you're going to move up to LLC taxes S corp. So there's like 5 things that need to be in place in order to do that effectively. And one is payroll software because you need to be taking a reasonable set.
anyway, y'all. All right, we're gonna end it. So I appreciate it. With that being said, this is Edward signing off. Yeah, I'm not gonna do no silhouette challenge. Anyway, but could you imagine? Could you imagine Obsidian's nigga commercials on here? See, is they're taking TikTok and they're funneling traffic back to YouTube or back to it's called cross pollination. They're funneling it back to YouTube or Instagram, man. Like for real, yo. Like I'm dead ass. This is gonna be something I'm gonna be pushing hard because like O'Shea, dude. Anyway, with that being said, y'all, it's been great. Get that off my mind. Make sure you check out that video with O'Shea. Cause that shit, honestly, that video should be spread out. Cause that is literally the thesis for what we do. At the end of the day, man, this community, black, like a lot of it is people trying to codify shit, but then get you invested in improving shit, and it's not gonna work that way. So anyway, with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.